The phone rang at 2 a.m., sharp and wrong, slicing through the thin silence of a small apartment where sleep was always fragile. Armin Hale woke instantly, heart already racing, because single fathers learn to wake before fear finishes forming. The missed call notification glowed again, followed by a second ring, and something in his chest tightened with the old instinct that this call meant trouble, that this call meant he would have to choose between exhaustion and responsibility, between the little life sleeping in the next room and whatever crisis waited on the other end. He answered, groggy and confused, and the voice that came through was frantic, official, and clearly meant for someone else. A medical emergency, a boardroom collapse, a name he did not recognize, and then a location he did. Before he could explain the mistake, the line went dead, leaving him staring at the phone as if it had accused him of something he didn't understand yet. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of doing the right thing when no one is watching, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Midnight Tales. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Armin sat on the edge of his bed, listening to the hum of the refrigerator and the soft breathing of his daughter in the next room, weighing what to do. He worked days as a maintenance technician at a municipal library, a job that paid just enough to keep the lights on if he counted every coin twice. Nights were for laundry, packed lunches, and borrowed sleep. He told himself the call was a mistake, and that mistakes belonged to other people's lives, not his. But the address replayed in his mind, familiar because it belonged to the tallest glass building downtown, the one people whispered about like a fortress of money and power. Against logic and comfort, he dressed quietly, left a note by the kettle, and stepped into the cool night that would soon give way to morning. By the time the sky softened from black to gray, Armin was standing in a lobby that smelled like polish and urgency, holding his old jacket closed as security watched him with suspicion. He explained the call as simply as he could, expecting to be turned away. Instead, a woman with tired eyes and a tablet motioned him forward, apologizing under her breath as if the day had already gone wrong before it began. Elevators lifted him into a world he had never entered, floors of glass and hushed panic, where people moved quickly without ever seeming to arrive. Somewhere above, a crisis unfolded, and he was carried along by it like driftwood. The CEO was named Maribel Klein, a name that carried weight in headlines and stock reports, a name that suggested certainty. But when Armin finally saw her, seated in a bright conference room flooded with morning light, certainty was not what he felt. He felt the heaviness in the air, the way power could bend when fear entered it. Maribel's face was pale, her hands still, her eyes fixed on a screen that showed numbers falling like rain. A medical scare had halted her in the middle of a crucial decision, and the wrong call had gone out in the scramble. When Armin explained who he was and why he was there, something unexpected happened. No one laughed. No one dismissed him. Maribel looked at him as if the universe had delivered a message wrapped in the wrong paper. Armin should have left then. He had a daughter to wake, a job to reach, a life that did not include boardrooms or billion-dollar risks. But the morning unfolded, and with it came the slow realization that his presence mattered. Not because he was an expert, but because he was steady. He noticed small things others missed, the way the room held its breath, the way people spoke without listening. When asked to wait, he waited. When asked to carry a message down a hallway, he did. In the chaos, his calm became a quiet anchor, and Maribel noticed. Daylight poured through the windows as the crisis stretched on. Coffee cups multiplied. Voices softened. Armin thought about his daughter's school backpack, about the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she concentrated. He thought about leaving again, but each time he stood, someone needed him, not for his skills, but for his reliability. When Maribel finally stood, steadying herself against the table, she thanked him with a look that felt heavier than words. She asked about his life, about why he had come at all. He told the truth, plain and unpolished, about being a single dad, about the habit of showing up even when it costs you sleep. What followed was not a miracle, but something rarer, a recognition. Maribel saw in Armin the kind of leadership no boardroom teaches, the kind built in kitchens at dawn and hallways at closing time. She asked him to stay, just a little longer, to help coordinate the mess left behind. The building changed with the day, sunlight warming the glass, the panic loosening its grip. By noon, decisions had been made, losses contained, futures adjusted. Armin's phone buzzed with a reminder he had set for himself, a promise to be home. He prepared to leave, relieved and embarrassed all at once, certain he would return to anonymity. Maribel couldn't let him leave like that. She stopped him in the lobby, where the world outside moved on, unaware. She didn't offer charity or pity, she offered respect. She asked him to consider a role, flexible hours, meaningful pay, a place where his steadiness could matter beyond emergencies. Armin hesitated, the weight of change pressing against the fear of hope. He thought about his daughter's mornings, about afternoons without rushing, about being present in ways he had only imagined. The choice felt impossible and inevitable at the same time. The story didn't end with a handshake or applause. It ended later that afternoon, when Armand walked home under a bright sky, the city loud and ordinary again, carrying the possibility of something better, without certainty it would last. He unlocked his door, woke his daughter gently, and made breakfast with the windows open. The world had not transformed overnight, but something inside him had shifted. He had shown up for a call that wasn't meant for him, and discovered that sometimes the wrong call leads you exactly where you need to be. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that quiet courage can change the shape of a day, please take a moment to engage with this video. Your likes, shares, and comments help these stories reach the people who need them most. Before the ending, a special request for you. Comment below and tell us about a time you showed up when you didn't have to. Your story might be the hope someone else is waiting for.